All right, let's dive right into the heart of the beautiful game, soccer. But today, we're not just talking about amazing goals or last-minute drama. We're looking at the classic battle, a coach's gut feeling versus the cold, hard logic of data. And we're doing it all through the lens of a really fascinating new research paper that asks one simple, powerful question. So here's the big question, right? Can a computer model, an algorithm, actually predict a team's strategy before they even walk out of the tunnel? Can it spot patterns that maybe even the most experienced coach on the planet might miss? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. The world of soccer coaching has always been this high-pressure cooker. We're talking about decisions made in a split second. And for decades, those decisions have been based on experience, on instinct, and on that kind of unteachable feel for the game. I mean, think about it. Scouting your opponent, picking the right formation, deciding who to sub on in the 70th minute. These have always been the domain of human judgment. Great coaches build their entire careers on being able to read the flow of a match. But what if there's another way, a smarter way? And that's exactly where this new study comes in. Researchers got their hands on a massive data set. We're talking over 3,600 matches from the top leagues in England, Spain, Germany, Italy, and France. They wanted to see if data could go beyond just fun trivia and become a real tactical weapon. So where do you even start with something like that? Well, the first step is to figure out a better way to measure how a team is actually doing right now. Because the normal league table, it tells you where a team is ranked, sure, but it doesn't tell you the story. It doesn't tell you if they're on the way up or on the way down. So the researchers turned to something called the ELO rating system, which you might know from the world of chess. Now, think of it less like a report card and more like a live power level in a video game. If a top team beats a bottom team, their rating barely changes. But if an underdog pulls off a massive upset, oh yeah, their rating shoots up and the favorites takes a hit. It's a much more honest measure of a team's current strength. And the difference is actually huge. A league table is like a photograph. It's just a single snapshot in time. The ELO rating, though, that's the live video feed. It captures every single little peak and valley in a team's form, match by match, giving you a way more accurate picture of what's going on. Okay, so ELO is a better way to measure strength, but you still got a problem. A team's ELO rating over a season can look like a heart monitor going crazy. How do you find the real trend in all that noise? Are they genuinely getting better, or did they just get a few lucky bounces? To fix that, the study uses this really clever technique called rolling regression. Basically, by looking at a team's ELO rating over just the last few games, it can figure out the direction of their performance. It's like a performance compass, telling you if the needle is pointing up, down, or just staying flat. So if you just look at a team's raw ELO rating for a whole season, this is what you get. It's a mess, right? A jumble of peaks and valleys. You can kind of see what's happening, but it's really hard to say for sure where a real hot streak starts or ends. It's mostly just noise. And then, this is where the magic happens. By applying that rolling regression, all that noise gets transformed into clear, actionable trends. Every green section shows a real, statistically significant upswing, a period where the team was genuinely improving, and every red section is a downswing. All of a sudden, we have a clear map of a team's momentum. Okay, so the model can now clearly see when a team is hot or cold. That's huge. But can it do the impossible? Can it take that information and actually predict what a team is going to do in their next match? This is where the study gets really ambitious, trying to decode the tactical playbook before the game even kicks off. To do this, the researchers tried out two different approaches. The first one is super straightforward. They call it the count-based method. It literally just counts the number of defenders, midfielders, and attackers to get a simple score. The second method, though, the rank-based one, is a whole lot smarter. See, this second method understands that context is everything. It groups teams into 4 tiers based on where they are in the league standings. So an aggressive formation used by a team at the top of the table is treated totally differently than that same formation used by a team fighting to avoid relegation. It gets that strategy isn't one size fits all. So with these two methods ready, they fed all this data into an AI model. You can just think of it as a super powerful computer brain that can sift through thousands of matches and start to see patterns. It learns to cluster different formations into styles, like aggressive or defensive, all on its own. So, after all that, tracking momentum, decoding formations, running it all through an AI, what was the final verdict?
did the data actually manage to predict what these teams were going to do?
Well, the results are fascinating. That simple method, the one that just counts players, it was incredibly good at predicting one specific thing: defensive strategies. It hit an 85% accuracy rate. This pretty much confirms that when a team decides to park the bus, it's not exactly a subtle move.
But, and this is the really cool part, for predicting aggressive attacking styles, the more complex, context-aware method was the clear winner. It hit an amazing 89% accuracy. This tells us that a team's decision to go on the attack is way more complicated and depends a lot on who they are and who they're playing.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's that you need the right tool for the right job. To predict if a team's going to sit back and defend, a simple player count actually works great. But to predict if they're going to come out swinging, you need a smarter model that understands the context of the game, the opponent, the league position, the whole shebang. And look, this isn't just a fun academic exercise. The real-world implications are huge. Imagine being a coach and getting a scouting report that says there's an 89% chance your opponent will attack. Your preparation becomes so much more precise. And for us fans, it's like pulling back the curtain on the strategic chess match happening on the field. You know, the authors of the study summed it up perfectly. They said, this work provides a foundation for coaches to make better, more informed decisions, and to come up with strategies that are tailored to a specific opponent. It's about giving them a new, powerful tool. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. If data science keeps getting better and better at decoding a team's playbook, what is the new art of coaching? Well, it doesn't mean a coach's intuition is obsolete. Instead, it suggests the future is a partnership between that invaluable human experience and the incredible power of data. Thanks for watching.